We're back.
We're back. Welcome to another episode of Flak. I am here in my home, Mark's in his, and we're about to bring you a whole bunch of information about the paranormal and related items.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do we stream to something called Twitch?
Yeah. We have a Twitch channel.
Well, it says that we cannot stream to Twitch.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. It has errors. Well, that's okay. Okay. Twitch is about to go the way of all flesh, so.
Well, now it just went away. It's
yeah, I reduced it, so.
Oh, okay.
I suspect, they'll put something else up in there. We can't do TikTok because TikTok is little bitty videos. But that's okay. We don't want to do that anyway. And Mark changing the banners.
There we go.
There we go.
There's our regular one.
I know. I had the e-ticket right up there.
Nope, now it's back. Now it's back telling me that it doesn't run anymore. Let me remove it. Remove this destination from the podcast? No. Yeah. You want me to remove it or not?
Leave it just in case. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anyway. Well, okay. What clips do we have today?
Well, I've got a couple clips. I didn't really get a lot of stuff done. Here's one, and this has not been shown very much. So this may be the first time you see this. This was somebody on an airplane. He was in a foreign country, told where. I think it was in South America, flying somewhere. And he was filming out the window, or he or she, I didn't know to switch, and saw something very unusual. So I'm going to play that for you now. So let me reach over here and hit the correct buttons. And here we go. I hope. All right. Why are we not playing?
There we go.
Now, that was certainly something unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a balloon. It's too high up. It's not definitely not a droid.
And it shined on the clouds. So you could tell it wasn't a reflection in the window because it was making
a shadow. Yeah.
A shadow. Well, not a shadow. It was light shining onto the cloud. So
yeah.
I don't know what it was, but they were suggesting as it was a UFO. So that's what we're suggesting.
Yeah, I think so. It's at least a UAP.
Now, you know that I always gripe about these obviously phony videos that they show on, especially on YouTube, but sometimes on other things. So I'm going to play you one. look at the dog, and right on the dog's black fur will be the thing that shows you this is phony. So let me play that for you here. Remove that one. And hit share video file. And here we go.
Six and I won. I gave you 6 points. I'm deducting 7. This is ridiculous. Don't make me think about numbers again. A brave and accurate decision. Yes.
Now, if you saw that, I'll play it one more time. Look, you can see that there is string attached to the girl's hair.
Hello.
Hello, Connor.
Have you seen the Emoji Movie?
No, I have not seen the Emoji Movie.
Tell her if she's.
Oh, okay.
No, I have not.
Yep. Connor's been asking me if I saw the Emoji Movie. But anyway, back to this thing.
Yeah.
If you watch this let me rewind it back to the beginning. If you watch this as it plays,
Tell her if
look against the dog's fur.
Tell her if she.
Wait, hang on a second.
Tell
What?
her if she's seen it.
She said no, she has not seen it either. Thank you, Connor. Okay, so if we play this, look against the dog's fur, and you'll see somebody has tied some string around the girl's hair.
6 and I won. I gave you 6 points. I'm deducting 7. This is ridiculous. Don't make me think about numbers again.
You can
A
see the
brave
string
and
on her
accurate.
hair.
I mean, it's obvious that it's a phony piece of footage. So this is the kind of, now my old buddy Tyler Clay has got some stuff on YouTube now also. He has pulled that old footage of the 4 people that disappear from the park. The aliens kidnapped them.
Oh God.
And one of the people in the video just happens to be wearing the same hat he was wearing in the black what is it? Black something or other ghost.
Yeah.
Whatever the Blackwell ghost or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that thing.
It's the same hat he's wearing in that video. So
I know.
how do you get, if these people disappeared, how do you get his hat back?
Get that back. Yeah.
Not only that, he's one of the 4 people that disappeared.
Yeah. Well, you can't afford extras.
So anyway, that's just, you know me. I got a real bone to pick with that guy.
Yeah, he's just, and the sad thing is, and I honestly think that's one of the reasons why various powers that be participate in this is because you put up enough fakes and people aren't going to believe the real. And there are plenty of actual ghost investigation video that's been updated and uploaded, and it's now what it is another matter, but it's intended as real information. And these are jerks that plow in with their garbage to get 1 million views.
Now, these people that put, I'm not going to name names, but there are people on Facebook. Some of whom are admins over the group. And the pictures they post are just not real paranormal photos.
They've been stopped.
Right. A lot of times there's clips from movies. The most commonly used nowadays clip is that girl from Grudge. And she gets edited into that, like, into different things constantly.
Yep. And I still see the cardboard stand-up in the background of 3 Men and a Baby posted. That I'm going to try to get rid of the
Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in the latest Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
have you seen that one?
No, I've heard fairly
It's
not great reviews of it.
it's not the world's best movie, but it was kind of fun seeing Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum and who's the guy that plays
Oh,
the
yeah, Australian actor.
he doesn't have an accent. But anyway,
Aussies
that guy,
are good about faking an American accent. So,
Jamie Bamber.
yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, what are we doing? Melody Paranormal Tanner.
Yeah,
Clark.
I'm gone now. That was a ghost.
That was a ghost. It was a ghost.
It was a ghost.
Talk. Echo.
Echo.
It was funny. Allison used to have a friend at Disneyland, and her name was Echo.
Ah.
And she used to work at the clock shop there on Main Street.
Yeah.
So every time I would go in there, I'd say, "Hey, Echo." She'd always give me a dirty look. Like, I think I've heard that joke once or twice before.
A million times, yeah. Yeah, was it someone? Oh, yeah, I met another lady whose name is Angelique, and she was about the right age. And I said, I know what your mom's favorite TV show was. And she says, yeah, you can talk to my brother about that. And I said, oh, God, not Barnabas. And she said, no, Quentin. At least that's a little more modern name. Or at least it seems that way.
Yep.
But, okay, there is a video clip. If you could click on that one.
The one that I was looking at before?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play it. You call it.
Okay, I will. This is awful video. I couldn't load the actual video, so I took screen grabs, and that always makes for crappy stuff. And
what was supposed to be there?
it's supposed to be the image of a face on a radio. And it's not working, is it?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. All right. Well, it's just showing pareidolia, classic pareidolia. I will put up the link, and anybody who wants to go over and look at the video, the actual video, can. It is a classic case of taking, various different attributes and seeing in it a face, and it really does look like a face.
Oh, well, there's a ton of times when you could look at a stain on the floor. You could look at a lot of things, and it will look like a face.
The key element is definition. There has to be enough actual visual elements to be a face, and that's the case whether it's a ghost or anything else. If you just see a blob and it kind of looks like a person, it's nothing. That's just garbage. But there are, and they're very few, because photographic evidence is always the worst kind of paranormal evidence, because you can fool your eyes far faster than you can your ear. Listening, you can hear it 5 different times with different words even, but you're aware of it. Your eye, you're not that aware of, because it's just giving you data based on patterns. So and I must tell you, and this is a good time for this this discussion.
Grandpa, are you going to the store today?
This
Hi,
is my
Connor.
grandson, Connor. Aunt Melody said, "Hi, Connor."
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Say it in the air. Say, "Hi, Aunt Melody."
Hi, Aunt Melody.
I don't know. It depends on what time Mommy and Daddy get back from the store or from the movie.
I don't.
Okay? Would you close my door, please? Thank you, Connor.
Okay, now's the time for my little speech about skepticism. Skepticism is vital, but it's also subjective. And there's no such thing as somebody without a bias. People who don't believe in the paranormal are as likely to be swayed by that bias as somebody who believes in the paranormal. You will see what you think you're going to see.
Makes sense.
And so let's get rid of that nonsense about, if you're skeptical, you're more. No, if you're a skeptic, that means you have to accept the possibility of something. And I mean, really accept it, not that mouthpiece thing about, I'd like to believe there was a life after death. Now, you've got friends all around you who are skeptics, and if you don't toe the line, they don't love you anymore. That's what happens, is we have this circle around us of people who cage us into perceptions. And that's what the government tries to do, quite frankly. And why I was so amazed at this disclosure about UFOs. That's a big leap. And this new data that's come out from Sir Roger Penrose about the survival of consciousness after death. So all these things need to be taken into account. They're all part of the same system. We don't live in the mechanical universe anymore. It's much more complicated than that. So I think we have to take that into account. And if you live in a box that says that does not exist, then you are going to be blinded as somebody who thinks the whole world is a reflection of my mind, So let's
It's not?
I know. I'm going to
I always thought it was.
I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow. So
You just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?
Yeah, well, if I won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be going to Disneyland. I'd be asleep for a year because it would kill me. But anyway, that's the issue with skepticism with me, is that we have this idea, these guys come in and they're angry and they're, they want to tear things apart. And it's as biased to want to tear it apart as those who want to put it together. So we need to understand that and work against our biases, like Twitch.
Let me add a little something.
Sure.
I'm skeptical. But the thing that bothers me more than anything are people that phony up videos.
Yes, me too.
Because if you play one and I can see what it really is, something that I can see in the background. Oh, well, okay, that was this. Or
exactly.
A lot of people that don't understand photography put posts on there where they show a photograph, not a video, and there's what's called double exposure.
Right.
The whole time when you use film, if you had a camera that had a lens that got a little sticky and it didn't work quite right, and you would take a picture and it would act like it didn't click. Well, it opened the lens just a little bit and it got part of the image. But then if you try it again and it works okay the next time, when it takes that picture, it doesn't advance the film. And then you get a ghost of the image you took the first time will show up on the second photo.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And it will appear. Hang on just a second.
Sure.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know you were doing your live stream. Our movie starts at 1.
That's fine.
I told them to leave you alone till you're done.
Okay. He has it, but that's okay.
We're going to see Nope, so I shall report back.
Oh,
Yeah.
Melanie says it's great.
Oh, good. Okay.
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 Allison and John are going to see Nope.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
She sounds so much like her mom. It's amazing.
Yep.
She, anyway, well, I get maybe this is a time for my little review of Nope. It's
That's good.
fairly simple. Go see it. It is truly an exceptional film, and I like Jordan Peele's first film. I like the second one.
What did he do?
Pardon?
What was his first film?
Get Out. And
Never saw that.
His second film was Us. This film,
He has interesting titles. Get Out, Us,
Nope.
and Nope.
and Nope stands for Not of Planet Earth.
What studio made it?
It's independent. I can't think of its name. I'll tell you later.
As long as it's not Legendary Pictures.
I don't think so. That didn't sound familiar.
I don't know if you're familiar with Legendary Pictures.
Was it a money laundering thing?
No, it was bought out by the Chinese, and they're influencing what can and can't be shown on film.
Yeah.
No, they are.
Look at them. Oh, I know they are. You don't have to tell me. There's
these videos that my granddaughter watches, and they pretty much tell teenagers to hate their parents and that their parents are jerks and that they should go off and do stuff on their own and ignore what their parents tell them. And these things are made by the Chinese. It's a Chinese production company that makes them.
Good Lord.
And you heard about the Chinese building the spy platforms inside the silo towers?
Absolutely.
On their farmland?
Yep. I know. Whomever is in charge of China right now needs to be deposed. And of course that's not going to happen because of the nature of the government.
Be careful saying anything anti-Chinese and anti-government because they will kick you off of Facebook.
Oh, I'm very much in favor of government, our government, the democratic one. It's a republic also. I'm not using that in the political sense.
I know.
But
I don't think our government is being as forceful with the Chinese as they need to be.
Oh, of course not, because of the bought-off politicians, I know. But that's going to change. In fact, it already is, which is why China is sending out all kinds of nasty stuff.
Well, the Chinese found some people that they said were United States spies, and they lined them all up against the wall and shot them.
Shot them, yeah. I know.
So any of you buying stuff from China that you don't have to, if there is an option made some other place besides China, buy it.
And there is.
Stop buying Chinese stuff.
Vietnam is producing. Was it some Central America, South America? There are countries that are producing things just above the Chinese level. Of course, China is always going to be cheapest because their people are forced to be there. But the production company was Monkey Paw. I love that. And the distributor was Universal. So it's definitely an auteur film. It's not anything that would be released by a big studio. And it's kicking butt. It's really
Well,
good.
you could bet there'll be 2 or 3 more versions of it.
Yeah, I hope so. And by the way, the ones who are over on IMDb ranking it down because it shows a negative perspective of the aliens. It's a horror movie. Of course it does. So, enjoy it and goodbye.
Yes. Monkey Paw is owned by Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I know. It's his thing. So he's an excellent director, and he's really come into his own. So I recommend everybody see it. And yeah, there will be a 3rd and 4th and 5th, I'm sure, and the 2nd. But the basic, what I love about it visually is that it does something no other movie has done with the UFO question. They don't go in and copy aesthetics from other UFO movies. This is a whole new depiction of the alien, and it's just amazing. So I'll stop going on and on about it.
Well, there's been some movies, I'll tell you, sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
There is such an extreme from the stuff that you wouldn't even sit there to watch the whole thing to, the great movies, the Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Right.
Those kind of films. But, I'll tell you, there's a Time Walker. You ever see Time Walker?
Yeah.
The star of Time Walker is a guy named Ben Murphy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very few people know who the hell Ben Murphy.
I know who he is. I grew up in the 70s. Yeah.
He had the #1 television show at one time with Pete Duell.
Yeah.
With Pete Duell.
Alias Smith and Jones.
Right. It's called Alias Smith and Jones. It was on ABC during the time period when they had the New People, the Young Rebels, all those shows that featured teenagers and just a little bit older running the world. Like, God help us. But anyway, they weren't bad shows.
Alias Smith and Jones was actually quite good the first couple of years until Pete ate a bullet.
Pete Duell, it's been said he committed suicide. Others said that he died when he was cleaning his gun. So something bad happened to him and he passed away.
Yeah.
They tried replacing him with Roger Smith.
No, Roger Davis.
Roger Davis, yeah. And
no Roger, so.
And Pete Duell's brother.
Yeah.
I forget his first name.
He spelled it the original spelling, I know.
Yeah, and Pete Duell.
No, Jeffrey Duell.
Jeffrey, you're right. Jeffrey Duell. And Jeffrey Duell didn't have the acting chops that his brother did. And with that Roger Davis, he just wasn't the actor that
Roger Davis is a walking ego.
But Peter Duell and Ben Murphy had good chemistry. It worked. It was a pretty good show. I liked it. I used to watch it all the time.
I did too.
Now the You remember the Young Rebels?
Oh yes, yeah.
You remember who was in it?
I know
The
the
star?
fellow who was in uh, Babylon 5 was in
Was
it.
he?
Yeah, he played the young Franklin. The
Oh
the
no, he didn't do. No, it wasn't who you're thinking
wasn't
of.
it?
It was
Oh,
the guy. It was the guy that played the father on Wait Till Your Father Gets Home.
I thought that was a cartoon.
Yeah, but he did the
He
voice,
did the voice. Okay.
and he's the one that, and he did all sorts of playing a dad and
Yeah.
different things. But you're thinking of Stephen First, and it wasn't Stephen
Oh,
First.
okay. Yeah, that's true. No, because he would be older. But no, who is the star?
I will have to look it up. Hang
Oh,
on.
okay. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. Just take me a second. Just hang on.
I have to
Let's
tell
see.
everybody who sees Nope, there is a chimpanzee scene in this that is horrific. And if you want to have a nice idea about chimps, you don't want to see the movie. But no, you still want to see the movie. Just shut your eyes during the chimp scenes. And it's not a real chimp. It's a, CGI.
There ain't no way they'd have a real chimp on and do damage to him.
They don't do that anymore.
Tom Bosley.
Tom Bosley. Oh, okay.
He played Benjamin Franklin.
Played Ben Franklin. Oh, see? And I know it faintly a couple of the other people, but I watched it. I liked it.
The star of the show was Rick Eli.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And his brother played Tarzan, Ron Eli.
Ron Eli. Yeah, or Ely. One of the two.
It was ELY, however
Whatever.
that sounds.
Yeah, exactly. But
And it was supposed to be our founding fathers as teenagers, basically, is what it was supposed to be.
yeah.
Then they had the new people. Remember the new people?
Oh, yes. I remember the new people.
Okay, the new people was a group, it was sort of lost. It was a group of people whose plane crashed on this island, and the island was a nuclear test place, and they had a whole city built there with cars and everything, and they were trying to get off the island before somebody set off another nuclear bomb.
It was sort of a dark Gilligan's Island, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was on the Universal backlot too. So.
Oh yeah. Well, like most of those things, you watch those shows. If you have been to Fox Studios backlot, you watch these old westerns and Andy Griffith. Like Andy Griffith, the beginning scene with Opie, where he's walking to the lake to fish, that was filmed on at Fox Studios in the backlots. It was the same area where they filmed MASH.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also, I mean, even recently, if you look at Seinfeld and then go and watch House, you can see different streets. One's supposed to be in New York and the other's supposed to be somewhere in LA.
Well, you know what I used to get a kick out of was watching Marcus Welby.
Yeah.
Marcus Welby lived a couple of doors down from the Cleavers.
Yeah, I
know. You know, Wally and Beaver.
The Beaver, yeah.
Beaver Cleaver. And they would dress the house up to look a little different. They would, move bushes around and so forth, so that you didn't just go, hey,
That's the Beaver. Yeah,
and right across the street from where the Beaver lived was the Psycho house.
Yep.
But, of course, you couldn't see it. They filmed from the other side of the street.
Exactly. And it was a big, wide street. So.
Now here you go. I'm going to give you a trivia question.
Okay.
What is similar about the monsters at Disneyland?
I don't know.
Their address.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The monsters lived at 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Yeah.
Disneyland's address is 1313 Harbor Boulevard.
That's true.
So how do you like that one?
Yeah. Well, it's probably somebody making reference to a past employer or something.
Now, anybody out there that's watching us that happens to know, I'd like to know whether Pugsley, who was played by Ken Weatherwax,
Right.
I would like to know if he is related to Rudd Weatherwax. I don't know if you remember Rudd Weatherwax. He used to live up in Big Bear.
Yeah.
Right. He lived up in Big Bear, and he used to train Lassie. So that's what I looked it up. I couldn't find any kind of notation as to whether Ken and Rudd were related or not.
Chances are they are, because
he's
both in the business.
Yeah, well, Ken's no longer with us, but just wondering if he was related to him.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
It's funny, the two extremes age-wise are still alive, that John Aston and Wednesday.
No, John Aston passed.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
When?
About 5 years ago.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll look him up.
I have to, let me insert here while you're doing that.
Okay.
This isn't a science fiction show, but it's a very fan-based show. So I was a big fan of Criminal Minds. And let me assure you, I know someone who is near Seth enough to know things. Let me put it this way, except for Shamar Moore, everyone is coming back. Hear me? Everyone. Okay.
Okay, John Aston is still alive.
I was absolutely certain he had passed.
Yep, I just looked it up. He was born March 30th, 1930, and has no death listed. There's no death under, usually on IMDb, it says death at the end.
Okay, we have an example of the Mandela effect.
Well, you just assume because you don't see him on anything anymore.
No, I actually remember seeing an interview with Sean Astin where he talked about. Okay.
Maybe he's talking about his mom.
He may have been talking about his biological father too, because
I think John Aston
was his adopted father.
Oh, okay. I thought it was his kid. I thought.
Well, he raised him, so.
Okay.
It doesn't matter at that point when you.
Because his mom's gone. Patty Duke's been dead for
a
while.
But yeah, boy, that's stunning. That really is. Maybe I may be thinking of Don Adams because they had similar sorts of roles. But Don
Adams has been gone for about 10 years.
Yeah, I know you met him not long.
Yep.
Before.
Yep. He told me he called Tracy Lawrence a bimbo.
Well, that's the good thing about getting older. You can say shit and nobody can do anything about it.
No, we were at a convention, and the guy who did the voice of the robot on Lost in Space was making answering machine tapes for people. And Don Adams got the bright idea that he ought to do that. So the second day, he had somebody bring a tape recorder, and he was making answering machine tapes for people.
There you go.
You know, he was, sorry about that, Chief, but so-and-so's not home.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah, it was. And the other guy, Jack, I forget his last name. He's been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
And he would get on there, you know, danger, danger. The Smiths aren't home right now.
Oh,
And he was there, and Bob May.
yeah.
You ever heard of Bob May?
Yeah.
Strongest handshake I ever saw in my life. He's the guy that was inside the robot
Yeah.
on Lost in Space.
He's a nice man.
He was very nice.
I never met him. I saw him speak.
But I mean, there's a lot of those actors. It seems like the bigger actor they were, the nicer they were. Like, for instance, the guy that played Patty Duke's father.
yeah. What the heck?
And he played the Admiral on Get Smart.
Yeah.
He had an unusual name.
Yeah. He was also very rich.
Well, he was as nice as could be. Wasn't charging for autographs. And,
But he doesn't need the money, you know.
you know,
Down there.
now, Richard Hurd was okay. But, you know, he played the next door neighbor on, what was it, Eight is Enough, I think, or one of those shows.
Yeah, I would say at this point that sometimes you can meet someone who doesn't have great social skills.
Like Andrew Prine.
Pardon? Yeah.
Like Andrew Prine.
Exactly.
Boy, was that guy a jerk. I'll tell you. Gary Lockwood, too.
Oh boy. Well, that's a damn shame, and they do
Now,
that.
Gary Lockwood's the guy that died before Dave tried to get Hal to open the door.
Yeah.
He's the guy that Dave was having the chat with that Hal killed.
Yeah.
And he was also on the second pilot of Star Trek.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you know, there was no reason for him to be unpleasant. And
I mean, like Aaron Gray was so nice. Beverly really liked her because they sat there and chatted for a bunch of time. She was real nice. And so was Gil Gerard.
Yeah.
Another real nice fella. He played Buck Rogers, in case you're not familiar with him.
Yes, I know Buck Rogers. I even remember the little dog, the mechanical dog.
Now, there's a lot of really stupid people. Yeah. Somebody came up to Aaron Gray. And it just so happens that Aaron Gray, when she was a child, her family were nudists.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you told me that.
And somebody dug up a picture of Aaron Gray when she was 12 years old at a nudist colony and asked her to autograph it.
I hope she threw it back at him.
She had him kicked out of the hall.
Oh, my God.
She told him, she says, this is child pornography.
Yes, it is.
So she called one of the people over and they kicked him out.
Good.
Which is just what should happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's incredible. Well, you know, what's her name? Tracy Lawrence. A lot of the pictures that she had on her table were from her porn movies.
15, I know.
And finally, the guy that ran the show went over to her and says, there are a lot of children walking around this hall. I would like you to put all those pictures away and put your pictures out from your sci-fi movie. And she was actually pretty good in that movie. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Don't think so.
It was a remake of this movie where her husband comes back from a space trip and he's possessed by this alien, and she's trying to convince everybody that he's not her husband. That, they made a version of that back in the 50s, black and white version. And I think it was called like It Came from Outer Space or something like that. And they did a remake in color, and she wasn't too bad. I mean,
that's the thing, is that the people who go to these are often out of work actors, and they had one moment of, and so they sort of write it as far as they can and as long as they can.
Oh, there's the show. It was called StarCon.
Yeah.
And they held it for 3 years, 96, 97, 98.
Right.
And then the man who ran it, he also ran a regular toy show in the same hall. But everybody looked forward to StarCon because he had the actors come out, and you made a lot more money at StarCon.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, so him and his wife, Lisa, got a divorce, and she took the show, and she ran it right into the ground. They never did another one. She couldn't. A lot of the people didn't like her very much, and your friend Jeff Sullivan didn't get along with Lisa, and he's the one that used to book all the talent for the show.
Right. Well, he knew everybody. So.
Yeah. So what they would do is, in the big hall on Green Street in Pasadena. Have you ever been to that hall?
No.
Okay. But it's a they used to hold the Star Trek convention there. So it's a big place.
Yeah.
And it holds probably 20,000 people. If you've got the entire hall. Right. But this show didn't use the whole hall. It just used like a portion of it. And it was real cool. They had a guy named Jim Latta there, and he owns the robot from Lost in Space.
Right.
He owns one of the Robbie the robots. He owns the 20-foot long or 25-foot long Sea View from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of props. He doesn't compare to like Bob Burns. I don't know if you're familiar with Bob Burns.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know Bob Burns. Well, I know of him.
Well, he's the guy that wore the robot head on the gorilla costume. He was the one that was in the costume.
Yeah.
And he was
the gorilla head.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the crew, and he got in this, and then he did a lot of other films, and whatever he did, he got money because he owns the flying saucer from the original Day the Earth Stood Still. He owns almost all the Alien costumes. He owns the full-size time machine from the Robert Taylor Time Machine movie.
Oh, wow.
And he had it refurbished and had a motor installed so the back would spin.
Oh,
because
cool.
He said in the movie they had 2 crew members in back spinning the wheel as. So he says, well, I can't afford to hire 2 crew members to do that. So he had a motor installed.
He just had a motor installed.
And the little shift levers actually control the motor. So you can sit in it and make it. And I was talking to him, and he says, I've had several large offers for the time machine. And I says, how much? He says, I would be ashamed to tell you what I turned down. And I says, $1 million? And he said, millions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
Something like that is.
I would have sold it.
Yeah, me too. Well, he must have millions, so that tells you. You know, what really would be a good idea for someone is to start a science fiction convention in the area of Vernal, Utah. A classic science fiction convention like Comic-Con or, you know.
Is there enough population to support something like that?
Yeah.
There?
Well, they have a Phenomenon there now. And it's around Skinwalker Ranch and
Well,
that.
call it Skinwalker Con.
Yeah, why not? And Brandon Fugel, who owns Skinwalker Ranch, owns a whole ton of memorabilia too, from various movies. So that would be, you know, a contact there to make. And he's very approachable.
Call him up.
Yeah. I may do that. It's a good idea.
Hey, all he can do is say no.
Exactly. That's how James Dean got his acting teacher. He got James Whitmore to start a class for the people at the university. And this woman knew him. And he said, would you ask him? And he says, well, I feel kind of creepy. Why? All he can say is no. And so she asked him, and he said, yeah, why not? So,
yeah, my sister and I were discussing whether James Dean had ever done an episode of Twilight Zone, because there was somebody on Facebook insisting that he had done one. Well, what it was is there was an episode of Twilight Zone called The Hunt. And it was remade from a Kate Smith's like Variety Hour or something.
mm-hmm, yeah.
And an episode called The Heavenly Hound, which was exactly the same story as The Hunt.
Yeah.
And James Dean was in
the
Kate Smith. He played the angel that talked. If you've ever seen it, this old guy comes along, he wakes up in front of these what look like heavenly gates, and he can't figure out how he got there. So this guy comes out of the gates and he's talking to him, and he says, well, you know, come on in, but we don't allow dogs. And so he won't go in because they won't let his dog in. So this other angel comes along after that guy leaves, and he says, well, I'm not going in there. That would be hell to me. And James Dean says, well, that is hell. He says, heaven's down there. We always take dogs. So,
exactly.
So, as you know, it's the same story as the Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah, anybody who's a Dean fan and who weeps over the fact he only did 3 movies, he actually did like 25 live TV shows. So just doing
a lot of them, unfortunately, a lot of that old stuff isn't available anymore, which is the bad thing.
But about 10 to 12 are.
It was a lot of that old stuff, including some Twilight Zone episodes, were done on Kinescope.
Yeah.
And for instance, the Christmas episode with Art Carney, that had been lost for a long time.
Yep.
And then somebody had videotaped with the VHS when they played it in their local town and had kept the videotape. And that's how they were able to air that episode.
Right.
Was using that person's videotape. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff that's like Paul Winchell's show. The Paul Winchell show. There's like 2 episodes that he was able to find, and I have one of them.
Yeah.
Which is,
he was
well, that was a feud between him and
the fellow who was at
Channel 11 that was running it. And he had a dispute with them, and they just said, well, to hell with you. And they burned all the tapes of his show, even though he was offering to buy them.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that April, his daughter, has written a lot about her dad, and she would go in to do voice work, and people were terrified of her because they thought she was going to be just like her dad. And her dad, of course, was the voice of Tigger and did a lot of very important work because he was a gifted man. He was, however, a very troubled man and could be a real pain in the something or other to work with. But,
he invented the artificial heart, for one thing.
He helped do it, yeah.
Yeah. And that was because his dad, wasn't it? Because his dad had died of a heart attack. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
in case you don't know about Paul Winchell, look him up. I mean, they should have made a movie about his life. I mean, I would think. I'm kind of surprised. He was the voice of the bad. What was he? He was on the Smurf. I'm trying to remember what he played.
Yeah, he was.
Was he the bad guy?
I think so. He was a couple of voices on the Smurfs. He did a lot of work. That's one thing. He was not lazy.
Yeah, I like the one that played Winnie the Pooh. I'm trying to think of his name. Sterling Holloway.
Sterling Holloway, yeah.
My favorite thing that Sterling Holloway did, he always played the mad professor on the old George Reeves Superman.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. There you go. It's our childhood in a nutshell. Speaking of which, it looks like we're about
3 minutes.
Yeah. So we want to thank you all for joining us. And next week, we'll be talking about the similar kind of things we talk about: fandom, paranormal, science fiction, mainly paranormal. And I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow. So if anybody is out in Anaheim, come on.
You can take pictures?
What's that?
Take lots of pictures.
Oh, I'm going to, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And videotape.
Yep. And I'm bringing the phone. So,
somebody told me that they fixed Snow White so it actually tells the story.
Yeah, they did.
Now,
yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but they show up to the point where the witch is handing her the apple.
Yeah.
And then you go around the corner and it says that they lived happily ever after.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Wait a minute.
Like, wait a
what
minute.
happened to the rest of that story?
Is that a commentary on snow?
So they supposedly they fixed that problem. So anyway, we got 2 minutes. You might take care of that Twitch problem. I don't know what's going on with that, but
I will.
I've still got that popping up, and I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Anyway, best of everything to you guys. Have a great week. If you're at Disneyland, come and find me. I'll be posting from the place. And go see Nope. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.